Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello. Welcome
to Lazy Mini Painting.
I'm Laz.
You're
very tired.
Host.
Camera.
And
I hope everyone's
well.
I hope everyone's doing all right. How are you morning or evening you are in the world. You have today.
Sorry. Still waking up.
We have today.
Combat Patrol issue 51.
In Combat Patrol issue 51, we get 2 pence.
We get
Pallid Wych
Flesh and Pink Horror Paint, which I already have somewhere in many piles of paint that I have from this magazine. So fingers crossed everybody is well today. And that feels quite solid in fact. Maybe a damn good beat. I'll bring the Pallid Wych back to some kind of usable condition. Pop that for a moment, and we also have layer pink. But they're going to make us use both. Of these a lot soon. Because there's only one more issue. And then they say we've got enough paint. Everything. Oh, camera's not right. There we go. So one more issue, and that's the last of the paint. Not for a while yet. Then they say we've got everything. To paint them off. So that means in this, he's got to go through a lot of where we need to apply the Pallid Wych Flesh. All the models that you've applied so far. So we have updating your models. Paint section. Yeah. Update the models, and we've got a bit of reading. We've got Leagues of Votan and Chronicles of the Kin. Now, I'm not sure if one of them's a story. If it is, as per usual, read the stories if you get in the magazine. And then we get a campaign, which is Fires of Conflict. Not too much today, so I don't expect it to be another 2.5 hour long stream to cover a magazine. But we'll see. One thing I do need to do is hydrate. Hydrate first, because I haven't had a drink. Yes, I've been to the shop. I've been up and out, but I have not yet been. Have a drink. Not good. Well, let's have a look. Starting with the Pallid Wych Flesh. Is it just Pallid Wych Flesh? Oh, right. It's going to go through each individual faction that will require it. So starting with Space Marines. You're going to use. You want to use Pallid Wych Flesh as a highlight tone on all the. What are they called? The wax seal purity seals. That's the one. Turn my desktop audio off, because that's probably echoing. Let's try that one. So yes, it wants you to highlight the very, very raised edges, just like down the outside and on the very, very creasy top bits. Just want you to put a very thin little line of Pallid Wych flesh just down. I can't use my right hand, I'm sorry. So yeah, just with a brush, just down the outside and covering the very raised areas, like so. Same with the skull for the chaplain. He wants you to catch just the raised areas. Good morning, Twisted. Good morning. You are up early. Hopefully you've had a chance to do everything that you need to so you can semi-function today. I've not yet got to that point, but I'm going to try anyway. Who else have we got? The edge of the captain's cloak, which is the inside down here. Again with Pallid Wych flesh. Just across the brows for any of the flesh people that don't have helmets. So you're catching the highlights of the cheeks and just above the brows there. And then with Pink Horror, you going across the other part of the Purity Seal, just catching the very outside edges. Very small, can't see it. Just catching the outside edges of the Purity Seal. And also the raised edges on the chaplain's booklet it's got on the front of his back. Why did they tell us about Mechanicus Standard Grey? We only got 2 paints. Okay, so go back and get your Mechanicus Standard Grey. And then all the black bits, again, just edge highlight across like black piping bits, knees and back of joints, around all the indentations and across the large bits on the wheels of the bikes, and the guy with the mohawk, just stippling it on a little bit if you like to. And that should get you looking something like this, chaplain on the bike being a nicer model. You're still waking up as well, Twisted. But it's the first day of faculty training for Mrs. Twisted. So that is awesome. That is awesome. And you're making her lunch. You're so nice. Now for the Eldari. Back to the Pallid Wych flesh, and anywhere that's flesh toned or they've undertoned with ivory, again, down the Farseer's cloak and across the brows on any of the ones with faces. With Pink Horror, they're going to want you to highlight the outside of the cloak, so the opposite edge, well, the same edge, but the opposite side of the edge of the cloak. So you've already highlighted the inside there with the Pallid flesh, and now highlight the edge of the cloak here with the Pink Horror, and all the raised edges down here on the outside of the cloak and the crotch cloth for the Lord that I didn't manage to get an issue of because somebody walked in, grabbed it, paid on the quick serve and walked out. If you're watching this, fuck you. Also, doing to Pink Horror, the little gem. Then Mechanicus Standard Grey. I don't know why they're going back to Mechanicus Standard Grey. They could have given us this one last time. But again, highlight all the raised areas on any black pieces with the Mechanicus Standard Grey. Including the seats for the actual Wind Riders. Again, all the joints and all the tubings. Any little black flary pieces on the backs of legs. And of course, hair. Then hopefully by the end of it, if you follow their instructions, your army for Eldar will start to look like this. Now they've highlighted all the back pieces and the joints and the arms, weapons, everything else that was black has had a highlight with Mechanicus Standard Grey. Oh, this is going to be the big one. This is going to be the Tyranids. The Tyranids are going to be huge.
So Pallid Wych flesh across, highlight on all the flesh. So all the high edges, shoulders, the tops of the. So when they're holding gun, just get the tops of the arms, not the underside. So just this bit. Again with the Von Ryan's leapers, I'll just, if you've got the pincers up like that, any of the high points. Then you go to Pink Horror, and it's the same with the armour. So you're catching all the high points, all the ridges, everywhere. Everywhere that's raised up above the rest of the pink, or the, what was it? Yeah, Screamer Pink used. So using the Pink Horror, you're just catching all the right the way along all the Chitin armour, and you can even feather in a few little lines in if you wanted to get that kind of shelly effect. Like that, see? What they've done there is as they've highlighted each of the raised layers, it's ended up giving it this effect. Which is quite a nice effect, I've got to admit. Covering the tongues as well, and all the big tentacly maw things that are coming out of the psychophage. Then again, with the colour they gave us a while ago and not this one, you want to go back through the blacks and catch it all with a Mechanica Standard Grey. if everything's gone right, which, well, my Tyranny is not painted like this at all, so mine don't look anything like this. You will end up with a very pretty looking models like these, and I've got to say that is a nice looking model. It does give them, you are right, Twisted, it does give them a really nice organic look if you can get those little lines in along the base. So as each break in the armour comes, you've got a little lines to show that it's come from something organic. Good morning, Lee. Good morning. But that's the only 3 armies they're telling us to work through. Weird. It is weird. Thank you for anyone joining me on the mobile phones as well, by the way. Mooch! Morning. Morning. How's it doing up in Hills? Is it windy and blustery? It's bloody warm where I am, I know that much. It's far too warm where I am. Well, then again, I just got up, so it's gonna be too warm. So hopefully, yeah, you've got a nice set of Space Marines, Eldar, and Tyrannies now, all highlighted, painted, washed. Essentially, those are more than tabletop ready now. Those, you can take them, you can go play in your local game shop, anywhere that runs small games or large games. Take 2 factions down and go, do you want to play some of these with me? And you'll have 3 factions ready to go to do the combat patrol gameplay. Use the combat patrol rules, small little skirmish games. Awesome. And you've got enough now to run the full game. You're cracking on with you. Are they Alpha Legion though? Are they Alpha Legion? Are you sure? Can you ever be sure with Alpha Legion? I don't think you can. Sorry, pardon me. So that's the paint bit done, which is, considering how long it takes me to paint other things when I'm actually painting, that was over with fairly quickly. So now we get to learn about the Leagues of Votann. Oh, how joy. I don't actually know much about the Leagues of Votann. They've turned up because of the squats, and now they've got their entire new faction. So we get to learn together on this one. Let's see what everyone's working on at the moment before I start reading, because you can hear my voice still hasn't quite caught up with the rest of my body. It still thinks I'm asleep. But today, Mooge is working on his Horus Heresy. Twisted is working on more detail around the wrists and more non-metallic metal gold. Twisted, you are a glutton for punishment. You do this. Why do you do this to yourself? I mean, it looks fucking amazing. I'm not gonna lie, but that's a lot of work. And yes, Mooch, they are all Alfarius. We are all Alfarius. Just don't know it. Right. Now let me eyes are functioning. I think I can read. Leagues of Votan, Seekers and Delvers. The line of an army of the Leagues of Votan stands unwavering under fire. That's what that little box says there. What we want to read is all this big bit and all the rest of it. And no, it does not look like we have a story. It is actually all lore, so yay. It is meditation for you, Twisted. It is no chore. Yeah, I get it, because this is kind of the same for me. Not just the painting, but this entire process of me talking to everybody and covering things and being on camera is kind of my therapy side. It's weird. I don't know why it works, but it does. Go figure. So, let's carry on with reading this, shall we? The kin are a species of clones who live in the unforgiving environment of the galactic core. They are watched over by their venerated ancient cores, which they call Votan, who provide them with guidance, equipment and protection as they work to acquire the resources they need to survive and advance their kindred's interests. The kin's entire way of life revolves around the acquisition of resources. Their methods are varied, but the oldest and most developed of their industry is mining, craft for which they have developed an array of sophisticated and often destructive technologies. They employ these where they will, not caring if whole planets or even entire civilizations are wiped out as long as their quotas are met. Damn. That's some proper sweatshop stuff right there. They take no inherent joy in destruction, but firmly believe that whoever strives the hardest in pursuit of something deserves to acquire it, while those who fail to struggle as hard forfeit any rights to the prize. That said, the kin are nothing if not pragmatic, and can work and fight alongside almost anyone when it suits their interests. But any potential partner must remember that they are always considered their own needs first, and if circumstances change, they may turn swiftly from a stalwart ally into an implacable enemy. Nice. So that's kind of like orcs. You give them guns, they'll fight for you. Once the fighting's over, they'll get those guns and turn them on you. Just not green. The kin at war. The kin are a brutally efficient and highly advanced species. Their determination is legendary, but being pragmatists at heart, they are just as happy to withdraw as they are to sacrifice themselves as prudence demands. Their nigh immovable lines are made up of heavy troops and vehicles. Each of these are equipped with some of the most reliable and deadly weapons in the galaxy, backed up with expert training and stalwart dedication that the kin are famous for. So there we've got a picture of the Hecaton Land Fortress, a troop carrier essentially, but it still has a massive big fucking gun on top. Yeah, I know. A troop carrier, but let's stick a massive big whopping gun on it. The forces of the kin surge forward to repel an orcish invasion. That is what is going on down here. They're steaming forward. Good morning, Ellie. Good morning. And Alex. Oh, Alexa. Sorry. Alexa Rose. I misread that because of Shadow. Good morning. Thank you for both calling in. Hope you're all well today. No, I've changed the stream. Don't change the stream. That's the problem with having the portrait mode on portrait on my phone. If I swipe up too much, it friggin' changes. Not good. The galactic core. Oh, we're down here now. The galactic core is located in the dead center of the galaxy. Fucking genius, this fella who wrote this, isn't he? Fucking genius. It is a vast region of space, characterized by heightened natural forces and unremittingly harsh conditions. The Leagues of Votann have adapted to this unique and punishing environment in a way that no other faction have been able to. Many other species may have the occasional tale of foolhardy explorers lost in the expanse, and perhaps even half-true fables of ones who survived their daring exploits. But only the kin seem to have truly thrived there, and been able to forge powerful civilizations that rival the might of any other faction in the galaxy. Except for the Imperium, because they hide all the things that the Imperium don't like to see when the Imperium show up. That is the Leagues of Votann in a very very quick nutshell. We'll move on to the Chronicles of the Kin. And they are good sculpts, Twisted, you're right. They are good sculpts. They have very nice sculpts. Although, for those of you who don't want to buy Games Workshop products, Rogues Den Hobbies does have a range of Space Dwarves if you wish to run something that are slightly different. You just won't be able to use them in an official tournament. In friendly games, though, as long as your opponent's fine with it, crack up. Oh, this morning stuff really isn't good. Definitely need liquids in the morning. The next one, Chronicles of the Kin. The story of the Kin, their origin, and their arrival in the Galactic Core is a mixture of fact and legend. What cannot be in doubt is how well they have adapted to the demands of their home territory, easily meeting both the physical and mental demands of this extreme environment. The Kin are an ancient people. Much of their history is kept by the venerable ancestor cores that house the species' collective memory, which they refer to as the Votann. But some of their history is so ancient and is buried so deep within the ancestor cores that it is, for all intents and purposes, lost to myth. And cores aren't any good at memorizing things, are they? However, the Kin maintain what they call first truths as articles of faith to explain their origin and purpose. One of these first truths is that many thousands of years ago, their ancestors left from pre-Imperial Terra and travelled to the Galactic Core. What they can be more certain of is that the role that the Votann have played in their development of their species then. The Kin are a species of clones, and the ancestor cores are not just static repositories of knowledge. They have shaped and guided the progression of the Kin, providing them with the equipment that they need, and even changing their physiology generation upon generation to better suit their harsh and unforgiving environment of the Galactic Core. They're just as genetically modified as the Space Marines, which, considering what they do to a Space Marine, that's friggin' lot. Starfarers, just for the section here. The earliest of the Kin lived aboard great void ships and spent much of their time engaged in highly dangerous mining expeditions. From this harsh lifestyle grew a diligent, pragmatic, and uncompromising culture, well attuned to detail focused on survival above all else. Which is why they don't show the Imperium, the Votann core things. That would be stupid. Oh, now we have lots of fun words. Okay. Argravir. The kin do not think of the Great Rift as a single phenomenon the way that many species do. Instead, they view it as a collection of areas, the warp storms. One of the largest they have named, Argravir, one of the great Thorin League's greatest warriors, Uthar the Destined, has led his forces against chaos incursions in this area. And then we have a picture of them fighting what is essentially 3 times their size, the exalted 8-bound and the 8-bound. Steve! Good morning, mate. Good morning. I hope you're doing good. It's been too long since we spoke. It has been far too long since we spoke. It's not been too long since I spoke about you. I was telling people about your absolutely massive Dark Angels and Grey Knight army. Thank you very much, Ali. You're doing so much. I'm going to have to go make that playlist after this, aren't I? I'm going to have to go make that playlist. And the next one. Mercenaries of the Kronos Homogeny lead the charge against invading Tyranids. So this is Warzone Bastio. In Warzone Bastio, most of the kin involved in the conflict have travelled there to fight for the Imperium as mercenaries. They do not just work for pay, but also to gain a better understanding of the capabilities and tactics of other species. For the kin, understand the value of... let's start the last bit again, because I just completely fucked that up. Where are we going to? Right. They do not work just for pay, but also to gain better understanding of the capabilities and tactics of other species. For the kin, understand the value of power... the value and power of knowledge. Why could I not get and of the right way around then? Brain not function. Brain no function. Oh, you've been in Anglesey. You're in Anglesey? Are you feeling alright, Steve? I hope you are feeling alright. If you've got 2 weeks and 4 to go. Like a month and a half in Anglesey. I don't think even the people of Anglesey can stand that. Well, enough about the people of Anglesey. We don't need to know about Six Toes. The Chalnath Expanse. Oh, what have I just done? There we go. I'm back watching me on there now. So the Chalnath Expanse. While conflict rages in the Chalnath Expanse, the kin seek to exploit the situation to their advantage. Conflict between the Imperium, the Tau Empire, Tyranids and Orcs has left their forces stretched thin, leaving great bounties ready to be claimed. The Trans-Hyperion Alliance and Kronos Hegemony, in particular, have been drawn to the area. So essentially, they're looting it. You're going to have the Death Skulls at one side and the Votans at the other, and just looting every battlefield they come across. The Votan are just demi-human orcs, aren't they? With a bit more snazz and pizzazz, because they don't just ball stuff together, they make it functional. Okay. And now we have come to the play section. Again, ridiculously bloody quick. Alright. Fires of Conflict. Fires of Conflict is a narrative campaign that allows you to link several battles with a narrative story with rules for determining an overall victor. Read on to learn how to customize and play this campaign. Yes, sir. A narrative campaign is a way of linking more than one battle together and telling a larger story. The action still focuses on your combat patrol force, when it includes more than one of their adventures and spreads the story over several battles. You and an opponent can both play through a narrative campaign together, taking the part of different sides, exploring and developing conflicts in your own area of the galaxy. Fires of Conflict provides a framework for this, but you can also develop further once you become more confident with running a narrative campaign. In time, you can start telling your own stories of unending war in the far future. You know, the issue is, when we've done the Space Marines, we've done the Tyranids, we've done the Eldar. Technically, we've got the Chaos, even though mine have been butchered into World Eaters. And we've pretty much finished off the Orcs now. I think we've got the Boomdacker Snazwagon left to come, and that's going to be towards the end of the Votan. We don't even start the Votan until next week. We've got to get all of those, and then we start with the Gene Stealer cults. After those, it's the Astra Militarum or Imperial Guard, if you're an old school player like me. And then finally, it's actually the World Eaters. Oh, that is awesome, Steve. Good news. I mean, it's the fact that one's gone down. You still have the other. We kind of knew that might have been the case, but one of them reducing, fucking excellent. And hi, Sue. It is. The Boomdacker Snazwagon is probably the most satisfying name you could come up with for just spoken word. It's like, yeah, that is fun to say. Or the Ruck Truck Squig Buggy. That's another one. Sorry, pardon me. So how are they going to make us use these 5 out of 9 in the Fires of Conflict? So, campaign setting. Oh, well, we are going deep into this one, aren't we? Oh, me. Deep in the shadow of the Great Rift lies a small group of planetary systems, unregarded by the main forces of the factions as they pursue their goals. But the fires of conflict burn here too. Against the backdrop of a galactic struggle, the people of this area still have their own story to tell. You will tell it for them. It started with the coming of the Orcs. Their arrival came as a surprise, but soon they had taken over the majority of the planets in one system, turning the surfaces of the planets into a mess of orcish warbands and cruel manufacturing centres, churning out their ramshackle contraptions of death and destruction. Nearby Imperial planets bolstered their planetary defence force and prepared, as best they could, for the inevitable attacks. The fighting came swift and fast, obliterating the resistance on many planets before Imperial reinforcements could arrive. Amid the turmoil, Chaos warbands began to encroach. Initially settling on deserted planets before mounting raids on more populated worlds nearby and spreading their foul corruption. On hearing that the area was becoming overrun with Xenos and Chaos forces, the Space Marines independently mounted an expedition into the area, but soon they began to pursue other ends, seeking after holy relics and lost technology. Good morning, Paco. How are you doing? You alright? We're partway through the campaign setting now that they've got for this. As the fighting spreads, rumours of the Great Devourer begin to spread among the panicked residents of the Imperial planets, and their doomsday cults swell alongside the rising of the Xenos worshipping Gene Stealer cults. When the Tyranids arrive in Bastior, they cut a sway through all the systems, as other Xeno species also begin to arrive. Each of the factions have their own aims and goals, often completely veiled to the other armies in the system. So many forces in the area, nobody is truly sure of anyone else's plans. It's only a matter of time before the tension boils over. So now we have each individual faction's goals within the area, I'm going to guess. Space Marines. As tales of chaos, corruption, and Xenos activity reach the Space Marines, they send out a strike fleet to investigate and purge the area. On their arrival, they uncover rumours of ancient technology scattered throughout the area, though lost to the ages. They are ordered to pursue and recover it at all costs. So Space Marines are there originally to kill everything that's not human, and now they want to just recoup their tech. Or lost tech. Tyranids, or Tyranids. Nobody truly knows why the Tyranids are drawn anywhere, although they consume all in their path. It is uncertain whether destruction of another civilization and expansion of their own is an actual goal of theirs or simply something that happens incidentally while they are pursuing some other mysterious aim. Yeah, they just want to go nom 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 on everything. That's the Tyranids. It's fairly simple. Eat everything, clean the planet of biomass, move on. It's a simple goal, but it's a goal. The Eldari, or Eldar, should rightfully be called. Fighting in the area has cost many Eldar lives. Their commanders must balance the crucial task of reclaiming the soul stones of the fallen against the risk of throwing even more of their warriors into the jaws of death. A craft world enters the area with the aim of recovering as many lost soul stones as possible. So they're after they want the dead. They want their people that have died so they can reclaim their soul stones, put them back into the circuitry. Chaos Marines, which is the faction I don't actually have, because I've turned them something else. As despair mounts in the area, war bands of Chaos Space Marines are drawn to the outer planes in some of these systems. From there, they launch deadly raids, enthused by the chance to strike back at the Imperium when it is vulnerable and weak from fighting other enemies. So, chaos are there to cause chaos. Tyranids want to go nom nom nom. Eldar are looking for nice sparkly jewellery, and Space Marines are looking for technology. Nobody's actually saving the populace, are they? Oh well. Orcs! Oh, no, shush. Shush, phone, shush. I'm confused. Are the Tyranids not faction? Yes and no. The Gene Stealer cults are humans that have been infected with Tyranid spores and are now working as beacons, essentially, to draw the Tyranid fleet to that planet. When the Tyranids gets there, they will eat the Tyranid cults. They don't actually, Tyranids don't care about the little humans that call them. They will devour everything on the planet. So, although the Gene Stealer cults technically worship the Tyranids just see them as lunch. So, yeah. One thinks the part of it, the other one just goes, no. It's a strange relationship the Gene Stealer cults have with the Tyranids. It's a very strange relationship. Where was I? Oh yeah, orcs. The orcs are doers, not thinkers. And they seem to have been driven into the area by instinct as much as by any concrete plan. Now that they are in the sector, they have set their minds to violence and are positively frothing with excitement over the chance to meet and fight such a diverse group of foes. No worries, Paco. No worries. Questions are always welcome here. If I have the answer is different, but questions are always welcome. And if I don't know, I will hold my hands up and say, "Ice thick, I don't know." So, yeah, I'll at least give that much. The Leagues of Votan, which we've just been covering. Hey. A pioneer fleet of the Leagues of Votan has been drawn to this area to scout it out. They will let nothing stand in their way as they chart the routes and planets, searching for resources to mine, partners to trade with, and looking out for the dangers that may threaten their kindred. Genestealer cults. An infestation of genestealer cults has been biding its time across many planetary systems in the area. As the Tyranid Hive Fleet approaches, they begin to rise up, conducting operations ranging from local skirmishes up to system-wide campaigns of death and destruction, all to call the Tyranids down so they can have a meal. If only they knew, eh? I'm not calling them that. See that there? I'm not calling them that. They're Imperial Guard. Change the bloody name to something damn near unpronounceable, you stupid company. Imperial Guard. In this area, the local planetary defense forces have been overwhelmed by the threat of Xenos and have sought support from the Imperial Guard. A force has responded to the desperate cries of help and now regularly mobilizes to secure supply routes, destroy enemy scouts, and to safeguard the system. And lastly, the only Chaos faction that I collect. World Eaters. Drawn to the area in search of slaughter are the manic marauders of the World Eaters. Desiring nothing more than death, these fanatical warriors of Khorne strive to honour their god and pay him gory tribute. Nothing will stop them except their own deaths, and even at the shedding of their own blood they rejoice. So everybody has their own reasons for being there. Some just want to stir up shit. So others actually want to get something. So the Space Marines, the Eldari, they actually want something. They want to get something from it. The Chaos, the Orcs, the Genestealer cults, the Tyranids, not so much. No, Chaos are just causing chaos. Orcs are just being orcs and messing everything up, fighting everybody. And the Genestealer cults are just a beacon so the Tyranids can let them know it's mealtime. And they have come with knife, fork, and napkin. So, how to play the campaign. The campaign is a series of linked games. It is designed to be played through by 2 players, each fighting with combat patrol forces from the Warhammer 40,000 Combat Patrol collection. That was difficult to say for some reason. Read on to find out how you can take part in mighty battles that form part of an epic story of heroes and warfare. Fair enough. This campaign is designed to be played with 2 players. You've just told me that up there. If you are playing through the narrative, you will move from one article to the next telling a story. The winning player will keep the same combat patrol and their opponents will take a new one. If you start at H, campaign 2, player 1 will play as Tyranids and the other Space Marines. However, you can start at any point in the campaign that you like and the story will eventually come full circle. The campaign articles. In future issues of the Combat Patrol magazine, you will receive campaign articles. Each one of these will contain a scenario that is designed to be played with 2 full Combat Patrol forces. The article will tell you which Combat Patrol mission you will use and which forces should take part in the battle. The second page will include the ending of the story that is being told, both the story of the individual battle and, if you are at the end of the campaign, the story of the campaign too. Are you getting off, Steve? No worries, man. You take care, and I'll catch you up next time, yeah? Let us know if... Yeah, just keep in touch if you can. But Sue, take care of him. He's good man, is Steve. Where are we up to now? Oh, yeah. Campaign progression, this section down here. The way to progress through the campaign depends on the victory condition that you have chosen. You will learn how to choose a victory condition later in this article. If you are playing towards a faction victory, then you will progress by following the instructions on the victory page of the campaign article. These will tell you who the winning player's next opponent will be. If you are playing towards a more casual victory condition, called a player victory, then you can choose which campaign article you wish to advance to next. Using combat patrols. There's a lot of rules, and I thought, 2 paints, not putting models together, relatively simple. No, the play section's taking that away from me. It's giving me loads to do. Loads. So, using a combat patrol. The Fires of Conflict campaign is designed to use the models, abilities, and datasheets that are part of the Combat Patrol collection. The campaign will continue to evolve, and some of the rules and models that are used in this campaign will come in future issues. Yeah, like the Leagues of Votan, Genestealer Cults, the Imperial Guard, the World Eaters. But almost half the factions that you're going to be using, you haven't got yet. Each of your combat patrols has a profile sheet that indicates what units are in the combat patrol and how they are armed. You can find these in D, combat patrol, in the play section. So when you've got these little sections up here where it's got like play H, you're looking for the D section. That'll give you all the sheets and stuff. You can find each datasheet file for each faction under the collect section of the collection. For example, the datasheets for Space Marines are filed under A, Space Marines. You will need to keep these to hand while playing, so before each battle you should carefully remove them from your binder. Once you have finished playing, you should return the sheets for safekeeping. Alternatively, you can use the cards that you have received in the collection. So if you've still got all these things to hand for all the rules and stats, and we get more, then keep I think the cards are going to be easier. Substituting units. The Combat Patrol collection includes additional units that you can substitute for units that are normally included in your Combat Patrol. You can use these models during the Fires of Conflict narrative campaign by following the rules on their datasheet for swapping them in and out. Faction abilities. During the Fires of Conflict campaign, you are able to use faction abilities, stratagem, and secondary objectives of your faction. These are filed in your collection towards the back of the play sections from J to R, or on the little cards if you've still got them. Combat Patrol missions. The games in this campaign are played using Combat Patrol missions that you have already received. You can find them in the play section of your collection under G, Core Missions. While you are playing, you will need to keep this sheet to hand so that you can refer to the rules. In this campaign, there can be no draws. So if the mission ends in a draw, your warlords should duel to the death. You set all their wounds to their starting values, place them on an empty board 12 inches apart with no other models, and roll to see who takes the first turn. The last one alive wins the mission. That's really not good in some cases. Some warlords seriously outshine others. Like taking a Winged Prime against a Terminator Captain. I don't fancy the Winged Prime's chances. Even if it runs away, he's still going to get shot, and if he charges, then the Captain's going to slice him up. It's a little odd, isn't it? It is a little odd. Twisted. But yes, what it is, because I've got this one as well as the one you're viewing on as well. So there are people in this chat as well as people in the same chat as you. Or it'll depend. What is it you don't understand, Paco? Tell me what you don't understand and I will try to cover it. I forgot which section I'm even up to now. Right, we've just finished the you can't have draws. If you draw, then the warlords fight it out. Fair enough. So winning the campaign. In order to win the campaign, players play towards a fixed endpoint called victory condition. It doesn't matter which victory condition the player chooses, but they should make their decision together and finalise their plan before they start playing their way through the campaign. No changing your mind halfway through just because you're losing. Player victory. You could set a simple victory condition that where one player wins 3 games, they have won the campaign. Such a campaign will run for no more than 5 games, by which point one of the players will have emerged as the victor. This is a way to play a simple and quick campaign. It will also give you the chance to try out different factions so that you get lots of experience on how the various combat patrols actually play. Oh, Ali's message. Is it the one about the here actually was showery, but it has been a battle between the sun and the rain for the rest of the day? That just means that it's going to be raining and stopping and raining and stopping. Or is it the part about the landscape view and the portrait view? In which case, yes, I do have 2 streams running at the moment. It is the exact same stream, it's just one's set for mobile devices and one's set for desktops and TVs. So the mobile device one, which you're currently on, has the chat box and me behind the scrolling chat, and leaves the screen up at the top, up here, so you can see what I'm looking at. Whereas the other one has got it more side by side, and you get to see more of my desk. You're not missing out on much by not being on the wider one. It's just you don't see the mess. That's all. Faction victory. If you want to play a more structured campaign, you can play through the missions in order. After each one, the player who wins will play again with the same combat patrol, whereas the player who does not win, or loses, will change to a new combat patrol. If you are able to win 3 times in a row, you'll have won a faction victory. If you choose to work towards this goal, you may have to play quite a few games until you get a winning streak of 3. It actually wants you to win 3 times in a row to do that one, which is not easy. Not easy. For a campaign victory. So here we are at the end. It is rather frustrating that the 2 chats don't merge. I will admit that I agree with you on that, Twisted. I would love the 2 chats to actually merge, and as soon as I figure out how, I will be doing it. I just don't know how yet, because Streamlabs sets it as 2 separate streams rather than giving me the option to run one stream in 2 formats. It's probably going to be more demanding on my PC, and it's already given me 7 warnings. Yeah, it's given me 7 warnings of CPU overuse. So I don't know if it's going to be able to do that. For a campaign victory, once you have won an overall victory, you can read the campaign victory box for the winning side on the campaign article that you've just played through. If a player has won a player victory, then the story will refer to the final faction that they played with. It will tell the story of the engagements leading up to the battle, the final struggle itself. If the player has won a faction victory, then the story will refer to all 3 battles that their side has fought. Okay, so that's a lot of battles. A lot of battles. A victory tracker. Oh. Okay, so if you're playing as Space Marines, you start facing the Tyranids, then the Eldar, then Chaos, then Orcs, then Votann, then Genestealer Cults, then Imperial Guard, and then World Eaters. And for the Tyranids, you just swap the Tyranids for the Space Marines. For the Eldar, you swap. Yeah, where the Eldar would be, you just take them out and everyone else goes in order. So it will always go in the order of Space Marines, Tyranids, Eldari, Chaos, Orcs, Votann, Genestealer Cults, Imperial Guard, and World Eaters. Whichever army you're playing as, you just take out of that order, and everyone else you get to play in. But it's got everybody down there. And you just keep track of who you've beat by ticking them off. Once you've got your final victory, that's when you tick into there. No worries, Packer, no worries. If you're listening, that's fine. We have just got to the end of the magazine, but we do have a lot of punchy out cards to go through to find out what they are. So at the end of the magazine, next issue, we will be getting the Carl, learning about the Leagues of Votann's names and the Bonds of Honor. So one nice little HQ there in an overcoat with a power fist and looks like a Neo-Volkite weapon. In issues 53 and 54, so it's going to be split over 2 issues again, we will be getting the Hearthkin Warriors. Obviously, a paint update because we've now got a new faction to paint. And learning about Ancestor Cores in issue 53. And in issue 54, we'll get the second part of the Hearthkin Warriors. Learn about walkers and battlesuits and the actual campaign itself. So quite a lot to look forward to in the next 3 issues. But here we have all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. Mostly Leagues of Votann by the looks of it, which is data sheets. So we have the data sheet for a Carl, the Hearthkin Warriors, the Hearthkin Pioneers, the Chthonian Berserkers. Is that it? No. And we also get the Einher Hearthguard. Oh, so those are the ones we're getting. Right. So we're getting a Carl, which is a HQ. Movement 5, toughness 5, saves a 3+ with a 4 in 4+ invulnerable. Not bad. 4 wounds. Facebook can go away. And 1 OC with a leadership of 7. He can join the Hearthkin Warriors, which we'll be getting in the next 2 issues after it. He is equipped with a Volkite Disintegrator, which has a special rule of Devastating Wound. 18-inch range, 3 attacks. That's quite a lot. Ballistic skill is a 2+, so it's quite easy to hit. Strength 5, no AP, but a devastating wound will cause a mortal wound. So it's got potential, but it's not guaranteed. And 1 damage per shot. In melee, he has a Mass Gauntlet. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Strength 8, not bad at all. AP -2 and damage 3. He can do more damage with his fist than he can with his gun. We have not been through the Judgment Token rules yet, so we're not entirely sure what they are, but the Carl lets you, once during a battle round, once per battle round, in your command phase, you can select 1 enemy unit that is visible to this model. That unit gains a Judgment Token. So whatever the Judgment Tokens are, you can give one to a unit without having to do whatever special rule will require it. That's always good, being able to hand out stuff that you will need later on. The Hearthkin Warriors. Okay, so these come in units of 10. At the start of the declared battle formation steps, before any units have been set up, this unit can be split into 2 units, each containing 5 models. Oh, that's not bad. So they have a selection of ranged weapons, from an Autok pattern bolt pistol, which is it's a bolt pistol, hitting on 4s, in this case strength 4, no AP, 1 damage. Etacam plasma pistol, which is only a very short range, 6-inch range, 1 attack, hitting on 4s, strength 8 though, minus 3 AP, so he's punching through a lot of armor and 2 damage. No hazardous on that one, which is fun. You get a high-las auto rifle, which has the assault rule and the rapid fire 1 rule. 24-inch range, 3 attacks, again hitting on 4s. Strength 6, which is not bad at all for a 24-inch range weapon. Minus 1 AP and 1 damage. So there's a lot going on. We also have the Ion Blaster, 18-inch range, 1 attack, hitting on 4s again, strength 5, minus 2 AP and 1 damage. I'd be tempted to take the high las auto rifle over the Ion Blaster. More shots. Yeah, definitely. Higher strength as well. That's just my personal opinion. The last weapon that they can take is a Magna Rail Rifle, which has the devastating wounds and heavy keyword. Staying still with that is in your benefit. It does only hit on 5s, so staying still will make you hit on 4s like the rest of the weapon. Just a single attack at 18-inch range, but with a whopping strength 12. Holy shit. Minus 3 AP and D3 plus 3 damage. So into a lot of damage at high strength. We will figure this out between us. Between all of us how to make this work. If nothing, my channel is just constant trial and error. Hearthkin Pioneers. These are bikes. They have the core rule of Scout 9 inches, so they get to jump off and go do stuff before the start of the battle. Get to charge forward a bit. That's nice. Oh, I forgot to cover the Hearthkin Warriors melee weapons. They have a standard close combat weapon and they have a kin melee weapon. The kin melee weapon gets 2 attacks, still hitting on 4s. He's got an extra strength, so he's hitting on strength 5, not strength 4 like the standard close combat weapon. It has a minus 2 AP and does 2 damage. And there are lots of little war gear abilities that we can add to them. Panspectral Scanner, which gives them ignore cover, and a Medipack, which gives them a 6+ feel no pain. Hey, some of these are good. I like the Votan. I mean, not only do they look good, but yeah, some of the weapons are alright as well. Anyway, back to the Hearthkin Pioneers, the bikers. So they have a 12-inch toughness of 6, 3 wounds. So they should survive a while. They have a plasma knife as a melee weapon, 2 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 4, 1 damage, no AP. Pretty standard melee weapon for most things, except for the extra attack. You have a fair few weapon options. So they have the Magna Coil Auto Cannon, which has 3 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 7, minus 1 AP and 2 damage. Or they have the High-Las Rotary Cannon with sustained hits 1. Again, 24-inch range, 6 attacks this time. Still hitting on 4s, strength 6, minus 1 AP and 1 damage. I'm not sure which one I prefer out of the two of them, because one of them obviously is 3 shots, 2 damage, and the other one's 6 shots, 1 damage. So they can pump out about the same if you're lucky enough. You can also take a bolt shotgun, which is a strength 5, 12-inch range, 2 attack bolt pistol. What was that? I've just swiped something out of the way that I auto swiped something and I shouldn't have. I believe somebody, and it may well have been sorry, may well have been Paco, who has just joined the Discord. Because I'm streaming, it won't show me on here. Let's go to my Discord. And it's Paco who has joined. So hello, Paco. Please read the rules. They're really simple. Don't piss off the boss. That's it. Hired goons are hired goons. They'll do what hired goons or unpaid goons do. They will be goons. Give them a reason to start, they will come in and shut it down quickly. They're not the ones you need to worry about. The boss is the one you need to worry about. She says no, then not even I can stop that one. Okay? The unpaid goons will come to me first. The boss does not. Other than that, please feel free to enjoy anything that happens within the Discord. Post your stuff. Chat to us. Anything is there for everybody to communicate. It's not just for me. And I can come back out of that now. Yay! There we are. I'm back. That's awesome. But it's quite a chill Discord server, so please don't. That's just the initial. That was it for rules. Don't annoy the boss. Simple. Lastly, not lastly, we have 2 more to go on. One of them is the Boomjacker Snapswagon. Sorry. But on this sheet we have the Chthonian Berserkers. Now these are not highly armoured. These have a save of 6+, but do have 2 wounds. Melee weapon, ranged weapon, they have a mold grenade launcher. It has blast and indirect fire. With a 24-inch range. Alright, it'll be hitting on 5s if you can't see, but that's awesome. D6 attacks, ballistic skill 4 if you can see them, strength 5, -1 AP and 1 damage. But that's not what they're there for. They are not a shooty. They are a melee unit. Now they can either have a heavy plasma axe, which has 2 modes. It has a strike, which is 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 6, -2 AP and 2 damage. Or they have the sweep, which is 6 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 4, -1 AP and 1 damage. So it depends if you're taking out Space Marines or Guardsmen. Go for. The other melee weapon they have an option to is Twin Concussion Gauntlet. They are twin linked, so you get to reroll the wound rolls. 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, but a strength 9, -1 AP and 2 damage. They's both good melee weapons for what got the options for. Mold Grenade Launcher also has the ability to add 1 to the wounds and attacks characteristics of the model equipped with this weapon. Okay. It gets +1 wound. And it gets an extra attack. Got D6, so it's a D6 +1 attacks weapon. Okay. So you could have just put that in with the actual gun itself and it would have made it less confusing. They also have a rule called Cyber Stim. Each time a model in this unit is destroyed by a melee attack, if that model has not fought this phase, roll a D6. On a 4+, it gets to fight before it's very handy, especially if they get the charge on you. Yep, questions can be asked on stream in the
what's it called? Comment section of the videos, or if you're in the Discord, ask in the Discord. You may get answers not from me, because there are other people who have this knowledge, so they will be more than happy to help as well. And if you're struggling with any painting or scenery or basing things that you're doing at the moment, there's usually someone in there who can help. Either myself, who's probably the worst painter in my own server, and as well as others who are much, much better than me. But between us, I think we can cover pretty much most forms of painting styles, techniques, and basic questions. Any basing questions, I'm sending you straight to Twisted Nerves Painting, the best bases on the internet. If it's to do with 3D printing, I'm sending you to Graham of Roguestone Hobbies. If it's for sculpting, we will be asking Silvers. And if it's painting, well, it could be bloody any of us. So what do we have here? Let's go through the last of the Votann datasheets that we have, which are the Einhir Hearthguard. Again, very melee focused, but very heavily armoured. It's 2+ armour saves and a 2 wounds, with a toughness of 6. These motherfuckers are tough. They do take a kicking. They have Exo Armour Grenade Launcher, which has the blast rule. 18-inch range, D6 attacks, hitting on 3s with a strength 4. None of the ranged weapons have AP, and they all have 1 damage. Actually, they both have 1 damage. The other weapon is a Volkite Disintegrator. 18-inch range, 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s, strength 5, but he's got devastating wounds. I'd be tempted with the Volkite Disintegrator over the Exo Armor Grenade Launcher. Just because of that devastating wound rule, it'll help it get through those tougher targets. But in melee, that's where these like to be in melee. Plasma Blade Gauntlet. I mean, just the name itself says, yeah, these guys like melee, not shooting. So it's 3 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength of 6, -2 AP and 1 damage. No special rules for like sustained hits or devastating wounds or anything like that attached to the weapon. It does have a little special rule down here, so we'll find out what it is. In games where you're using the Leagues of Votann Combat Patrol, War Speaks Prospect, you may, before selecting an enhancement, remove the Chthonian Berserkers from your army and replace them with the Einhir Hearthguard unit. So you can remove the Berserkers. So that's the change unit. You can either have the Berserkers in there, or you can have the Hearthguard in there. Out of the 2, if they both have the same number of models, I'd be more tempted to go for the Hearthguard just because they're a little bit sturdier. But that's just me. Well, there are all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 data sheets that we have for the Leagues of Votann. Oh, with that lovely little picture on the back. Lars, Danny's talking to me. Yeah, I did hear you. It just took me a second. About to head out to work and then out on a way to Florida. Cheers, Ali, Lars, and chat. No worries, Dan. You enjoy your. Yes, I have. Dan, I have a Discord. Yes, Dan, I have a Discord. I've done it again. I've swiped out of the way. But yeah, enjoy your trip to Florida and give my regards to Papa Arias. So what do we get now? We get rules. We get the special rules for Orcs and the Votann. So let's have a look at the detachment, the special rules, and the stratagems for them both. So your Carl
model is your Warlord and has the Waste Feeds the Void enhancement. You can replace this with Pragmat Comms Uplink. So Waste feeds the Void. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes a ranged attack, reroll a hit roll of 1. In addition, the bearer's unit is eligible to shoot in a turn it fell back. If that's not nice and you don't want that one, the other one is the Pragmat Comms Uplink. Add 1 to the objective control characteristic of models in the bearer's unit. In addition, you can reroll Battleshock tests taken for the bearer's unit. So if you're going to be fighting over objectives a lot, comms unit might be okay. The reroll and a hit roll of 1, however, could come in useful for something like a Volkite weapon where you want to try and get those extra hits in. Especially a devastating, so you've got more chance to get devastating wounds afterwards. Not a problem, Twisted. I'll have coffee too, please. I've nearly finished my tea. And objectives. So we get a default secondary objective, that is Toil Earns. Before the battle, at the start of the deploy army steps, you must select one objective marker that is not in your deployment zone. Second battle round onwards, at the end of your turn, you score 4 victory points if you control that objective. That's quite a steady one, that. Oh, that's a nice one. Alternatively, change it for Settle a Grudge. From the second battle round onwards, at the start of the round, select one enemy unit that is not destroyed and has 1 or more judgment tokens to be your army's target for that battle round. At the end of that battle round, you score 4 victory points. Your army's target for that battle round is destroyed. If it is destroyed. Right, okay, so that's the pick a unit, I'm going to kill it this turn. That's it. If you kill it, you get 4 victory points. If you don't, you don't. Same as with the other one, you're going to pick an objective marker, but that's going to be all game. You've got to hold that objective marker all game to score 4 victory points each round over the 4 remaining rounds. Whereas Settle a Grudge, you get to pick, you can kill one unit, next round, pick another unit, next round, pick another unit, and it'll keep going until you don't kill the unit. So, thank you, Ali. I do need a. So we have the stratagems for the League of Votann. There should be. Oh, and we get Eye of the Ancestors, so we get their special rule as well. We're probably better off looking at the special rule first. Each time an enemy unit destroys a League of Votann unit from your army. This is Eye of the Ancestors, by the way. It does help if I read the title of the damn thing, doesn't it? You can tell I'm not awake properly yet. It's still. I mean, I've been going for near an hour and a half, but I've not finished my first cup of tea today. Still not fully woke up. Eye of the Ancestors. Each time an enemy unit destroys a League of Votann unit from your army, that enemy unit will gain 1 judgment token. An enemy can never have more than 2 judgment tokens. Any further judgment tokens a unit would gain are ignored. Each time a model from your army makes an attack that targets. Thank you, Joshua Bradburn, in the margins. In the margins. Can't forget that bit, but thank you for the subscription. I hope they've been at least somewhat enjoyable for you today. Where was I? I was sat in my chair. That's where I was. I was also reading. Yeah, my eyes are going fine. I really need to book my eye test. Each time a model from your army makes an attack that targets a unit that has 1 or more judgment tokens. Until the model's attacks have been resolved, apply the relevant bonus from the table below. So, if it has 1 judgment token, you get to add 1 to the hit roll. That doesn't specify ranged or melee, so that'll be both. That's quite a lot. Obviously, devastating wounds and sustained hits, things like that, only activate on a natural roll of a 6. So you can't roll a 5, add 1, and get sustained hits. Sorry. If he's got 2 judgment tokens, though, he gets to add 1 to the hit roll and 1 to the wound roll. As nasty little guys. But they have to take out your units, or your Carl has to hand out a token to them. It can be slow to build them up, but once they are built up, you've not got much of an army left, but hitting harder. So the 3 stratagems we get a Epic Deed stratagem, which is payment in kind. You can use it in any phase. Target 1 Leagues of Votann unit from your army that was just destroyed by an attack by an enemy model. Use this stratagem on that Leagues of Votann unit even though it was just destroyed. Till the end of the battle, each time a Leagues of Votann model from your army makes an attack that targets that enemy model, reroll hit rolls of 1. So it's kind of extra judgment token. Not bad for 1 CP. Rerolling hit rolls of 1 and being able to +1 to your hit rolls. Would be quite lethal when it's stacked up. Second one is Panspectral Sweep. Used during your shooting phase and 1 Leagues of Votann unit in your army that has not been selected to shoot. Can't double shoot with. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in your units have the lethal hits ability. But anything multi-shot, that's going to be nice for. And we have a battle tactic stratagem that looks more like a melee option, I think. Warpex Prospect. You use this in your opponent's shooting phase. Just after an enemy unit has been selected, an enemy has selected its targets. 1 Leagues of Votann unit from your army that was selected as the target for 1 or more attacks. And its effects until the end of the phase, improve the save characteristic of models in your unit by 1. Oh shit. That negates a lot of AP. That negates a big chunk of AP. A lot of things only have AP -1, AP -2 at a push, but you can negate one of those. If you can negate that in any way, that's nice. It's really nice. So we'll put that with all the rest of the Votann stuff. Now we have the last art model, which we don't get until right towards the end of the Votann. We'll get that before we get the last Votann unit. And it is the Boomdakas Nazwagon. This is just a complete clusterfuck of a model. Okay, so it has big shooter, a grot blaster, and a mech special. The big shooter is a standard big shooter. 36-inch range, 3 attacks, hitting on the broadside of a barn, strength 5, no AP, 1 damage. A grot blaster is a little more reliable, 12-inch range though, 1 shot, hitting on a 4, not a 5, strength 3, so it's not the strongest in the world, or the galaxy should I say. No AP and 1 damage. Its main weapon, its mech special, has assault, rapid fire 4, and sustained hits 1. Got a 24-inch range, firing 12 shots. 12 fucking shots. Still hitting on the broadside of a barn, 5s. -1 AP at strength 5 and 1 damage. But with that rapid fire 4, that becomes 16 shots at 12 inches. And you've got sustained hits, so any natural 6s is giving you even more hits. That could just get out of hand. That could just get really stupid. You were lucky enough to roll 16 6s at 8 inches away. That's 32 hits. If any army was going to push sustained hits and rapid fire to the point where it's lunacy, it was going to be the Orcs. They do also have a melee weapon on that vehicle called Spiked Wheels. They have 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, strength 7, -1 AP and 2 damage. So not bad in close combat, considering it's a cart. It does have a movement of 12, toughness of 7, a 4+ save and a 6+ invulnerable save. 9 wounds. So it's going to take a while for low grade weapons to chop through it, but anything strong enough is just going to punch a hole and make it blow up. Oh, it does have Deadly Demise 1 as well. Okay. It also has Billowing Fumes Aura. While an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. Oh, an enemy unit. So if he's too close to enemy units, then you take 1 from the hit roll. Because of the smog and the clouds of dust and all the horrible stuff that's... Have I frozen? I hope not. But yeah, that's a nice little one, especially handing out that -1 to hit when it gets close enough. So now we have the faction ability for the orcs, and we all know I like doing this noise, which is whoa, whoa. That's where you gotta cry before you use it. So at the start of the command phase, once per battle, at the start of a battle round, you can call a whoa. If you do, until the start of the next battle round. All orcs with a water ability from your army are eligible to declare a charge in a turn that they advanced. So you can okie pretty much. I'm still finding your screen parkour. That is awesome. It's just because I don't always move while I'm reading cards. I don't move my hands too much, so sometimes when it's sat there not moving, I forget that it's not frozen. I've just not being moved. So yes, you for an entire phase you get to so that's both sides. So orc turn and opponent's turn, entire battle round. In charge when you've advanced, you add 1 to the strength and attacks characteristics of melee weapons equipped by orcs in your army, and all the orc models with the war ability have a 5+ invulnerable save. So even if you went second on the battle round, you've already called your war during their part of it. So you'll have a 5+ invulnerable save if you've not already started charging up the board. If they don't kill enough, that's when you start running, advancing, and charging straight into their face with +1 strength and more attacks. For stratagems, you have Get Stuck In. Use it in the fight phase. 1 orc from your army that has not been selected to fight this phase is the target. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes a pile-in or consolidation move, it can move up to 6 inches instead of 3. Wrapping and trapping, that's what orcs like to do. Basically gang up on you and smash you in the face. We have a strategic ploy stratagem, which is brutal but cunning. Used in your charge phase, select 1 orc infantry unit from your army. Until the end of the phase, your unit is eligible to declare a charge in turn in which it fell back. Fell back as an orc? No. Orcs don't fall back. That's stupid. Should have given them something else. And then we also have another strategic ploy stratagem, which is Cramp the Gates. You use in your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy has finished making attacks. It is 1 orcs unit from your army that was selected as target for one or more of the attacking attacks. The effect, you can make a normal move of up to d6 inches, but must move as close as possible to that enemy. Action surges, see that one. Crump Degits is better than Brutal But Canning, because you get to move towards them in their turn, and that's not what they want you to do as orcs. Most people playing orcs are usually using ranged armies. Orcs are a melee focused army. They don't want you coming close. So Get Stuck In and Crump Degits are the two standout ones for me on there. Brutal But Cunning has its uses, but orcs don't fall back. You've missed something very, very vital within the orc culture there. That leads us on to the enhancements and the secondary objectives. Enhancements and secondary objectives. So, your war boss in Mega Armor is your Warlord. Oh, can I not use Lasgul Thwacker? Of course not, because he's not an actual. He's not got. I could use him as the war boss in Mega Armor, but he's a bit big. So as default, he will get Grizzled Scarboy. Each time a ranged attack is allocated to the bearer, half the damage characteristic of that attack. Useful for keeping him alive. Very useful for keeping him alive. Optionally, you may take the Teleporter. In the declare battle formation step, select one boys unit from your army. Till the end of the battle, the bearer and every model in that boys unit have the Deep Strike ability. When setting these units up on the battlefield using the Deep Strike ability, they must be set up on the same turn and within 3 inches. So they have to come in at the same time and really fucking close. But you can Deep Strike a unit of boys and a war boss. What's not to love about that? Butt running, I'm teleporting. And your default secondary objective is stomp 'em. Okay, sounds like he's gonna make you want to smash things and kill things on the tabletop, guys. So from the second battle round onwards, at the start of the battle round, select one enemy unit that is not destroyed for your army's target. At the end of the battle round, you score 3 victory points if your army's target for the battle round was destroyed by a melee attack made by an orc model from your army. Oh, so you only get 3 victory points, unlike the Photon one where you get 4, and you have to do it in melee. So even if you can't get to melee, you can't score it on round 2. You just can't. If they've set up right on their back line, and it's going to take you turn 1 and turn 2 to get into a position where turn 3 you can charge, that's not going to help. Optional secondary objective is proper looting. At the end of your command phase, for each objective marker you control that is not within your deployment zone and has not yet been looted by your army, you can attempt to loot it. You can loot an objective marker if one or more orc units from your army are within range of that objective marker, and those units are not within engagement range of one or more enemy units. If this is the case, roll a d6. On a 2 to 4, your army has looted the objective marker and you score 3 victory points. On a 5 or a 6, your army has looted the objective marker and you score 5 victory points. 5, 10, 15, usually at a maximum 3, 6, 9 if you're just getting the standards. It sounds easier to get than the other one, to be quite honest, and you'll probably score more victory points from it just out of being lucky enough to get a 5 or a 6 on one of them. So I would go for the optional secondary objective on that. And probably the teleporter as well. Finally, we have 2 more pieces of cardboard 2D scatter terrain. So we have extra terrain that we can put down on battlefields and the battlefield maps. Right, so author, pediatrical guidance. I hope I don't know if that's how you type it or you pronounce it. Yeah, I don't know if that's how you spell it or if that's how you pronounce it, but we'll give it a go anyway. But we have two nice pieces of scatter terrain where it just gives you the normal picture, and then if you're too not sighted, if you're losing your sight and you can't make out that, so that's the bit that stood behind. They very handily and kindly give it a big green box. So there you go. If you're stood on that side and they're stood on that side, that's in the way. Same with that one. They're both about the same size, so it is only barricadey ruins type scenery. It's not area terrain. It's nothing you can stand in to get a full unit on, but it's enough. It's enough to be able to put things in front of you to give you that cover save. 99% of the time, you will get the cover save. Don't worry, Paco. If you can't explain something, then we'll just make up our own versions in our heads. And we'll go from there. If we get close, then awesome. If we get nowhere near, then, well, you can correct us and go, no, that's just completely off the ball, that one. What the hell are you talking about? No. It does work. And we do listen. We do listen. Yeah, so you still help. Ali's right. You're still helping people, so good on you. That's the end of it. That's everything that came with the issue today. Next week, I am looking forward to getting this Carl. And I can't see him because of the light. There he is. I am looking forward to getting him. It'll be the first Votan warrior that I've got. Then again, I've only got one third-party Tzeentch model and one third-party Custody model. It wouldn't be too out there to say that I've just got one model of a few armies. But I am looking forward to getting the Carl, because that means I'm getting one step closer to my World Eaters. I do want my World Eaters. But yeah, with that, I'm going to wrap everything up. Thank everybody who's come to see me, and obviously Joshua for subscribing, Paco for joining the Discord, and everybody who's come to talk to me, see me, listen to me, and not throw bottles at the screen. Thank you very much. Please, everyone, drive safe, look after yourselves today, and I will see you tomorrow night for the magical world of Sparkles and Oak. Oh, speaking of which, we now have a name for the little pink caterpillar. It is Chester. Chester the caterpillar. Well, that's a different story. I'll talk about that tomorrow night, because today's not Sparkles and Oak Day. That's tomorrow. 9:30 UK time tomorrow night. Working back onto Sparkles and Oak. But until I get all that set up, thank you. See you later. And enjoy yourselves.